Jeff, my man, you there?
I am here, man. How are you, Cory?
What's up? Hey, man, I'm excited too. So, where are you calling in from today?
I am calling in from St. Louis, Missouri.
St. Louis, Missouri. Love it, man.
Yep.
So, the Arches, right? That's where Nellie's from too.
The Arches are actually McDonald's. We have the Arch.
Oh, the Arch. I'm sorry. Sorry about that.
No worries. Nellie is from about 5 miles from here. Yep.
Nice.
That's our claim to fame. Nellie and Tina Turner.
Right. Well, man, hey, thanks for taking time to be on here. I know you got things going on, so we're going to roll through it here. But why don't you let everyone know a little bit about your expertise in investing right now and what made you want to get involved with investing?
Well, what made me want to get involved with investing is when I was 23 or 22 years old, I got a real estate license, and I kind of developed a niche pretty fast of dealing with investors. So I rode that wave up from the late 90s into the mid to late 2000s,
right.
Watching real estate investors, being their agent. I was successful. I did pretty well, but I'd go pick up my check for $1,000, $2,000 or $3,000, and they'd be at the closing, and they would double close it and walk away with 20. And I just knew there was something wrong with that picture.
Right. You're like, I want to go to the other side of that.
Yeah.
Right.
So when the market kind of imploded, it made it really easy for me to do what I really wanted to do, which was convert over to the investment side 100%.
Got it.
And so, and before that, even my family they're real estate agents and brokers, and my dad did some flipping when I was young. And I would go in, 10 years old, give me a sledgehammer, pay me and a friend $3 an hour, and we'd start demolishing it. I mean, what's cooler than that?
That's cool. So right.
That made an impression. And so having an entrepreneurial spirit, knowing I'm probably unemployable, I knew the only way that I was going to have success is if I went out and made my own way.
I had a shirt that said unemployable on it. I used to wear it all the time.
Yeah. I'm sure that's me. I'm positive that's me. So,
who was one of your biggest influences in investing?
Gosh, for starters, it was my father. He was a broker and had a pretty large brokerage for for a lot of years.
Right.
And then he got into invest. He would do rehabs. He'd always have a rehab going at the same time. So he started it all for me. For sure. He got that seed planted. Now, he wanted me to be a real estate agent because that's what he believed in.
Right.
There's no risk in his mind.
Right. Are you an agent now or not an agent, Jeff?
I am a broker.
Right.
But I don't employ agents.
Gotcha. Okay.
I just have my license. I have forever now.
Now you're a broker, so you own the brokerage, right? But you don't have other agents working underneath you?
I've got a couple that just want to keep their license with me, and they do a few deals a year, but I don't really I don't act as a broker. Starting Point Real Estate is my main company, and that's the investment company. Garner Realty is my brokerage, but I literally spend no dollars on marketing. I just have it. We'll sell our own properties after the rehab. If we do rehabs, we'll use it to buy an REO off the MLS, something like that, pull a couple dollars commission here and there.
Sure.
Yeah, so I am a broker, and I made that conversion from full-time real estate agent to full-time investor. And for me, I just had to leave it behind. I couldn't have one foot on both sides of the street because you can't be great at multiple things, in my opinion.
That's good.
And I wanted to be great at investing.
That's a great quote. So. That's a great quote. I think we just found your tweetable.
There you go. Perfect.
Did you have a breaking point though? Did you have a place like before even agent? Did you have like something that was pushing you into investing that was like a breaking point for you? It's like I have to do something different, or was that the agent side where you're an agent and like, man, I got to move over on the investor side because of the the whole rich dad poor dad employee self-employed business? What were you looking at on the cash flow quadrant?
Okay, well, my breaking point was definitely 2008 to 2007, 2008. Now, Don't get me wrong. Up until that point, there's nothing I wanted to do more in the world than leave my agent business behind.
Right, but that was in the market was crashing, obviously. Started in 2005, and it was, it's ending,
Yeah, exactly.
Crashing.
So Now, I'm in the Midwest, and you probably experienced this too. It didn't start hitting me as much until
No.
6, 7, 8-ish.
Right.
Or, I could be off. It's been 10 years now.
Yeah.
Before that, I was making, through my 20s and early 30s, 6 figures a year,
Right.
working about 20 hours a week as a real estate agent because it was just so good.
Right.
But having said that, I didn't want to do it. I really wanted to be an investor, but I didn't have the courage.
Yeah, how do you create the bridge to get over, right?
Yes, exactly.
So there's people listening right now that are at that place, right? So
Yes.
what would you say to them right now? What got you over that hump?
Well, you don't want to get over the hump like I did, because how I got over the hump is I never had the courage to take that step from boat to land, where I wanted to be, because I just was young and I wasn't there yet. So the market had to completely disintegrate, and I went from 6 figures in commissions, almost passive, to 0.
Right.
So right then it was, if this isn't a sign, nothing is, And so
yeah, what did you have to lose at that point? What you're kind of thinking,
I had
right?
nothing to lose, and I could bury my head in the sand because things were bad for me financially at that time. I could bury my head in the sand, be completely demoralized. I really thought I was very good at what I did, and I thought my idea of my success was a little bigger than what was the truth. The truth is I was riding a wave that a lot of people was. I was just smart enough to take advantage of the opportunity, but I didn't know that at the time.
Right.
And then when it went away, so I could have been down on myself, or I could have looked at it as an opportunity. And so I chose to look at it as an opportunity, and I didn't have the money to do direct mail. I had all that debt from having all that money and living that lifestyle to none of the income anymore. And so I started knocking on doors, and I made a little folder pamphlet that I know no one else was doing about short sales.
Yes.
And how I didn't want any money from them. I was just there to help them.
Yep.
And I just started knocking on doors every day, all day long, man, and handing those pamphlets out. Next thing you knew, I had about 35 or 40 short sales rolling at all times for about 4 years. And that was my gap. That was my bridge.
You and I have a similar story, man. That's where I started my short sale, kind of built up everything there, started a loss mitigation company. So during the market, we actually made made a ton of funds coming in because of the short sales. Then that ended around 2011. 2011 was a pretty defining time where, things were getting difficult to close deals and things like that. So.
Yeah, they got scary at that time because they kept throwing so many different regulations and addendums and disclosures that you felt like if you signed one, it violated the other one. You'd end up in jail one day.
Right, that's right. Yeah. So you felt like, right? You had to do a lot more dotting your I's, crossing your T's, and even the ones that you did, you still had to make sure it wasn't interfering with one of the other documents that you signed. So yeah, we had a lot of deals under contract and they wouldn't close, and we lost our buyers, and we went to wholesaling. That was kind of the wholesale. That was like the low hanging fruit. What is the profit master investing strategy that's working for you right now? How can you share maybe one thing that's working really well in your business right now, Jeff?
Well, right now, I went from that short sales to buy and hold, built up 110 rentals in that 2.5 year period. So that way, in the next crash, I'd be covered because it's going to come. Hopefully, I'll be smarter about it. But now I've converted 100% to wholesaling because the market has changed. It's came back. And if I had a secret for anyone, here's what I learned. I'd been in real estate for 18 years. I thought I was as good at it as they came. And when I realized I got into the wholesaling game, I was spending a lot of money and not getting a lot of contracts. And I really had to up my game on the sales side. I thought I was a good salesman, but the reality of it is a different animal when you're when you're going and competing with other guys. And so as much time as you can put into honing that craft of being a salesman and being able to offer people a solution to their problems versus just dollars to buy their house is going to really make the difference between you and the whole market. That's been what I found. We went from spending the same amount of money last year a month, which is significant, to and getting 3 to 4 deals a month while I was in this growth period to 10 to 12 a month.
What was the primary thing? What was that reason that you think was the tweak that made that difference between, from doubling and tripling your deal?
Well, I think what it was is it was getting to have the best service, the best professionalism on answering the phones.
Okay.
On, we got away from voicemails. We got away from we are there till 9 at night, and then it goes to voicemail, and someone's still calling back. We answer the phones. We
So you 10 extra effort. You 10 extra effort in. And you didn't go home. Didn't go home early. You stayed there. You answered instead of letting things go to the voicemail. You took live calls. Was there anything when you went to the appointments? Did you do things different there? Did you market different?
We went in. We went in with a little different sales strategy. It was like, hey, I tried getting money out of the discussion as fast as I could. So we go in, hey, Mr. Seller, I'm, Jeff, thanks for having me out. Hey, I need 10, 15 minutes to run through the house, check out, kind of look at the nuances of the property, what kind of repairs might need to be done, and then we can sit down and have a conversation. If it's not something you're interested in, that's perfectly okay with us. And if you are, then we can write a contract, give you a cash offer right now. Right. And then I go through and I take them on the tour with me and just have a discussion about their life and what they really need.
Love that.
Because you know as well as I do, most people, money is just a small factor. They have divorces, legal problems.
Yes.
What
is it that is the pressing thing to them, right? What is it that they want? And then what is it that's holding them back from it, right? Those two questions are big.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what we want to, and that's what I try to get to. And so if I can get to their pain and their pleasure, I can have a conversation about those two things.
Perfect.
And that's all we talk about.
Perfect.
We don't talk about money. And if they start to get tight on me, we just want an offer. We're getting 5 offers today, and we don't care about anything. We just want to offer. And I tell them, Mr. Seller, that is not a problem. Just to let you know, we're usually higher than all our competition. I'm not worried about dollars. I'm not worried about the money. I still have to crunch some numbers. So I'm not worried about that. We always beat our competition. What is going on? What do you need? How are you going to get to Arizona? And get in that conversation.
What do they say if I just need money? I just need more money. I just need money right now. How do you handle that objection?
Well, I totally understand. I wouldn't blame you. Have you thought about calling a realtor?
So perfect. So what you do is you give them other things that you know that they're probably going to say no to, or that if they said yes to it, it isn't their best option.
Yeah, and then they'll tell themselves why they can't. They'll give themselves their own objections.
I love that. Yes,
so
we do very similar. Right, we do very similar.
We're not selling them.
And if they come back down to it, and you guys are at a $10,000 difference, he wants 60. You want to give him 50. How do you handle it?
I say, what I do is I'll try to set an anchor, and I learned all this in my sales training and throughout my experience over time. His anchor is 60.
Yep.
My anchor will be 35 or 40. So that way, when I bring it to 50, I just gave him 10 grand.
Right.
15 grand. So we're playing this game. It's the opposite of selling is what I found is most effective in these situations.
Right.
So if he says, I need more than 60, I say, well, Mr. Seller, I don't want to offend you. I feel very uncomfortable saying this, but I just have to be honest with you. No's okay. We can't buy them all, but I usually buy houses around here from 30 to 40,000. Now, doesn't mean I can't give you a little more than that, but I'm just being honest with you.
So you'll take 50% of the number off the top, typically, right? 50 to 60% of the number. We do 40 to 60 cents. So we'll say, it's not uncommon to have 40, 60 cents on the dollar, for properties in this neighborhood. And, it depends on repairs. If the house looked just completely, perfect shape, didn't need any repairs or anything, obviously, I wouldn't be here right now. There wouldn't be, you'd be talking with an investor, or you wouldn't be talking necessarily with us. You'd be talking with an agent because you had some time. But I'm here today ready to make an offer if it fits for you. it's got to fit for us too for our cash buy criteria. But obviously, what is it that you want, you need to get done today? And I'll accent today. I'll say today in there about 5 times. Or we have our agent, we have our reps now do that, and acquisition manager will say today. So we'll anchor immediate action now, because the most important thing typically to someone that is in a situation like that is quick. How fast can they get a solution? It may not be the money, but how fast can they get the solution? So, the more that you can obviously accent the speed and of that makes, do you agree with that?
I agree 100%.
Right.
And how I had a thought there. A lot of times it's, Mr. Seller, I'm really sorry. It's okay though. I know you have other options, but I can't give you that 60. And then truthfully, what I'd be comfortable to do, which you probably wouldn't accept, would be the 50. A lot of times I'll, hey, if money is your most important thing here, we might not be your guys, but I can tell you this. I can get you to where you need to be. And the truth is, it sounds to me like your real objection here is to get with your family and get this behind you and have a fresh start. I can do that for you.
Absolutely. That's a great spin. I love that. I love that positioning spin, Jeff. Another thing, do you do this too? If there is a mortgage involved, we always talk about the dollar amount above the mortgage. Because the mortgage, will eat up half of the deal, right? So if you're saying you want 60, he owes 40 on it. Well, really, all he needs is 20 grand. So now, if it's, listen, you're going to walk away after close. 20, 19 to 18 grand, right? I mean, surely, we can meet somewhere. If you walk away with 12 instead of 19, aren't you okay with that? So really, what you just said is you'll take 42 for it. Right, and so do you do those spins like that?
Absolutely. I find out if I can find out what the payoff is, what their plan is. Okay, well, I'm buying this house. Okay, well, Mr. Seller, Mrs. Seller, well, so what is the down payment you need? What do you need from here?
Yes.
Well, I need 30 grand. Okay. Well, 30. I don't know. I could do 30, but I might. What if I could do 22.5? No, I'm doing the math in my head.
Right.
Then all of a sudden they're like, that's pretty close.
That's pretty close.
You could promise me that by Friday, then I think we could do something today.
Right.
Well, I can promise today. I can promise that 35 or 40, that 35 grand I told you I normally buy, I can give you that any day.
Right.
So I can give you that tomorrow. You want to keep shopping or something, I can give you that next week. But today I can give you this.
Right, and the extinguish the remorse, because there's a remorse situation obviously that comes in of that I got less than what I wanted. Right, there's a remorse. So the way we extinguish the remorse is we say, and listen, if you want 60, I have an agent that we work with. She's great. I mean, she could probably, right now the average time frame is about 70, 80 days. And then it might take someone another 30 days to get approved. So you might be 100 days out. We'll throw it out there. And then I don't know, how much is your payment on your house right now? 600 or 700. So that's 4. So there's 2,400 there. Is taxes and insurance included in that? Okay. So, if there's 2,400 plus that, and then you'll pay the commission on that. I said, but you could probably get closer to your 60, but if you listed it for 60, and then most of the time people make an offer around 10 cents off the dot, so maybe 55, then you made your payment. So at the end of the day, you're only netting about 50, maybe 49, and I'm here today to make an offer for this, right? So we extinguish the remorse by giving them back the full price, if that makes sense. When we give them back mentally the full price, they in their mind extinguish the remorse, which is pretty effective. Do you do something like that too?
Yeah. We'll back it off and we'll back our numbers down and then get into the repairs. But I always offer the I can refer you to a realtor and then I'll say and I'll do the same thing you do. They'll list it probably, let's say 70. They might only get 62, 63, but that's okay. But then you pay commission.
Right. They might ask for a report. They might ask for repairs. They might ask for a seller concession.
Yeah.
So you can.
And then if you get through those inspections and everything, and then you have to be there.
Right.
You got an occupancy inspection. You got an appraisal. And what we do is we took St. Louis's occupancy inspection list.
Oh, that's cool.
It's like we made packets, copies of it. So a lot of times we're going, well, here, a lot of people might, that are considering selling on their own. I'll help you out. I'll give you the list of things here, so if you get these things done before you get to that point, it'll really save you some time after. And I hand them this 4-page
thing.
List of
They're like, man, this is. Or you could just sell it to me today, right?
Yeah,
I love it.
I can handle all of that.
I love that.
It's all true.
Right.
You just don't know,
Well, it's positioning. So I love that. That's great. I think there's a ton of value that people just got from just that discussion. Jeff, that's awesome, man. What was one of the big challenges that you faced as an investor, and how did you get through it?
The biggest was cash. Not having credit or not having money. I would say, and
so you had to get over that mental block of that I have to have money in order to be really successful in this business.
Yes,
okay.
Absolutely.
How did you get through it? How did you get through that mental block?
Well, I just found that money follows the deal. And so I just worked really hard, like I said, knocking on doors, and just marketing myself without dollars and coming up with opportunity. And so I find the deals, and then I would take them to guys I knew had money, and I would partner with them. And so that's how I got back on my feet and got started again. That was the biggest obstacle, and really it wasn't an obstacle at all once I kind of figured out, hey, go find the deals, then find the money. I put together that rental portfolio, 110 properties in a 2.5-year period. I, bought them all short sales or courthouse steps.
Wow.
Without a penny.
So impressive, Jeff. Wow.
Yeah, and so that's what. Then once I did that, without a penny of mine, and that is because I found a few deals, and I took them to guys I knew had big money, and I said, look, sit back. We'll 50-50 this. I will do all the work. I will build this portfolio. And I got a little money each house, a little tiny commission.
Right.
I hired people as I needed them.
Right.
And I built that portfolio up of, $100,000 a month in rental income and a few million in equity, really, because of the way the market came back. We all knew it would come back. That was the whole point.
Right.
So then all of a sudden I went from, I still didn't have a ton of money even after that, but my financials were fantastic. When you have a rental portfolio and you got 30% equity in it, you got 100 and something properties, all of a sudden you're a millionaire on paper.
Sure.
And so then I was really easy to get money. And
That's right.
It's building steps. I like to say baby steps, so sound a little bigger than baby steps, but they just started off with a couple properties.
Sure.
And the determination that whatever I was missing, I was going to get somewhere else to put this together. And next thing you know, it just grew. And now my wholesaling business, where we're doing 10 or 12 deals a month, is all mine. I have no partners in that.
Yeah.
So
you've got, so here's what's interesting. I always think about what would happen if you didn't, right? So you had a mental block. And I think some people listening to this right now, there's one person, I guarantee you right now, they're either jogging, they're driving down the road, they're listening from their computer, they're watching this video right now, and they just had a breakthrough. Because what would happen if you didn't overcome that? Right? You wouldn't have got this 100 portfolio of properties, right?
Yeah.
If you would have because I don't have money or credit or all these other things, right, to hold you back, if you just said, well, I'm not going to do it because of that, you would have not got 100 properties now, a millionaire, right, getting people throwing money at you, doing 10 wholesale deals a month now, just because you overcame this mental hurdle, right? And so, man, that is huge, dude. So that there's somebody that just had a breakthrough, man, of, oh my gosh, if you wouldn't have done that, if you're letting that thing hold you back, right? There's somebody letting something hold them back, and if they continue to let them hold it back, they won't get what's on the other side, which was success in more ways than one for you, freedom in all kinds of ways, building a portfolio, building self-confidence in yourself and your business experience, having more investors, more than you know what to do with. You already have more money than houses. And then having this confidence that you are a marketer. You have knowledge. You're a knowledge worker. And that so you can, know things that other people don't know, and they don't have the time. So like you said, you would do the work. You would bring them the deals. They had the funds. So you figured out a new way, a new position, a new way to look at your situation, at your challenge. And that's the key. Challenges by themselves are not bad. Challenges by themselves are actually a very powerful thing as long as you use them as a way to look at your situation from different angles, right? So that was a great way that you let a challenge push you forward instead of hold you back.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I was taught, and it's hard when you're in a low, to pain is an opportunity to grow. Pain is an opportunity to grow spiritually.
That's awesome.
And in every area of your life.
Yes.
You know. And I wouldn't take it back. I mean, this is a way better place than I was before the crash in the late 2000s, you know? You just have to move forward. Opportunities will find you. Money will find the deals. Whatever I'm missing something, I think, okay, if I'm missing that, then I need to go find that because and I have this. And I always bring something first. I'm not the type of guy to go, well, if someone will give me the money, then I'll go out and work.
Right. You're like, what can I bring to help you? How can I serve you first? Right.
Yes.
And then create. Yeah, that's great. What was a great lesson? What's a huge lesson that you learned that's helped you get to where you are today?
You know, be of service to other people. Make your business about other people, and the money will follow. It's a couple things. You know, it's just a simple little thing that I remembered from the late 2000s and into today. The old saying that everyone knows: pigs get fat, hogs get slaughtered. You know, but that's a business quote. But really, it's be of service. You know, and I've done a couple little videos of my own about people first, money will follow. Now I know, you know, we just sat there and talked about all our sales strategies, but the truth is I go after what people need and what their biggest problem is, because I envision them, after we buy the house and do the transaction, I envision them having what they need and totally 100% starting over and being all of a sudden in a bright, happy, better place. And if that means I got to move them, or that means that I continue to maintain a relationship, if that means that, you know, I rent someone a place, but all of we get testimonials from every one of the people we buy from, and rarely, if ever, are they not as happy, you know, like light and happy and in a better place. That's important to me. It might sound a little fluffy, but people generally don't come to us in a winning streak, you know?
Right.
And so, you know, I like to leave them in a better place. But once I change my mindset to it's not about the money, it's about people, and I really try to walk in the door and figure out what's going on with them, help them out. I mean, I was training a guy a few months ago, and we were in this girl's house for a couple hours, and I won't get into too long of a story, but she was really stuck on this like 190, and really the house was worth 120 to us, 120 to anyone. And I just kept working and finding out. And I said, okay, here's the deal. You got other problems here that you're not talking about that have nothing to do with this money. You owe like 60 on it. There's plenty of spread there.
Very cool how you change this position. So you move the focus from the money to the pain.
Yeah, and come to find out, her dad died, left her with a 3-story house, 3,000 square feet, full of really nice furniture and stuff. That little girl, she was 23 years old. She took out credit cards for 2 years to keep it up because she didn't want to sell it. It was the opposite of what you expect. Oh, I'm going to sell all my parents' stuff and get all the money.
So she was embarrassed. She was embarrassed to talk about these things, right?
She didn't want to because she didn't want to disrespect her father by, you know, but the problem is she was losing it. So she was going to lose all this equity. And so we did an estate sale to sell all her stuff so she could show respect and feel like, okay, I got top as much as I could for my dad's stuff.
Right.
We gave her a good price for the house, and then I put her in a nice rental that fit her and her daughter's, what her daughter needed. And they're just happy as could be. But the whole point I started this story is because I got this 2-year-old that liked me a lot. Next thing you know, she's on my lap, and she had gum, and she ate a piece of paper, and I put my hand out for her to spit it in. She spit it in my hand. I went and threw it away in the trash can, and this guy I was training to be acquisitions is like, Man, you went way above and beyond on that, man. I gotta hand it to you. There's no way I'd let some little kid spit something in my hand to throw it away. But
right.
yeah, I don't know. I thought that was a funny story. But that's kind of indicative. When I'm there, I'm comfortable and I'm just trying to be of help.
So you serve others, even though it may seem a little strange or whatever. At the end of the day, you want to find out what the pain is and really put the focus on the pain to see if the solution that's being provided is really speaking to that, or if which most of the time it's not. Usually it's about the money, what they think it's about, but really what is the money going to do for them? That question, if you can get very good asking that question, which you have, that really opens up a whole new world of what's this money going to do for you. In fact, often we'll start out with, if they want 120 and we know it's worth, we need to get it at 65 or 70. We'll often say, okay, we give you the 120. What are you going to do with it? Yeah. And then, you start talking into that story. You'll get to hear the story. So taking the time to define what the pain is it can pay off. It helps them better. Yeah. It helps everything. So I really like. If you had to start over, what would you change? What's some advice for new folks?
If I was to start over, I would. Man, that is a great question. I've had so many changes since I started. I almost feel like I start over every couple of years when the market changes a little, Right. You kind of have to stay ahead of the game. If I was to start over, I would really probably focus on my infrastructure first, getting myself set up inside my office so that once I started doing deals, I had my structures in place. There's lots of CRMs out there these days that aren't expensive at all, that you can do your marketing through, that you get all your deal flow through. I would kind of set up my system first and my plans first instead of going out, doing the deals, and then next thing you know, having this administrative nightmare you have to deal with and hire people to come, once things get going. I've had to bring people in, and it probably cost me double the money to straighten out what I could have had straight from the beginning.
Gotcha.
So I would take my time in the beginning and set myself up. I would imagine doing 4 or 5 deals a month and what that would look like and what I would need.
I love that. And work your way from the back, to the beginning, right? From the end of the mind, right?
Just assume it's going to happen and set myself up for that to happen.
I love that.
And it will.
Absolutely.
And then so once the flow started, I would be more prepared to grow.
I love that. What's a favorite motivational quote or a business quote you like? I knew you mentioned one. Do you have another one?
That was, I knew that was coming, and gosh, that is a tough one for me. On the, like I said, what goes through my mind is people first. That keeps my ego in check, right? And I keep and so that and just being of service and so I really don't have a quote that rings through my mind.
Sure.
It's just pieces of what I've learned from people
that and that's what's powerful about quotes, right? Is that sometimes you don't have to have the quote itself. It's what the quote meant to you. It's how, I'm sure you read a quote by Zig Ziglar, which said, if you help people get what they want, eventually you'll get what you want, right? I think Dale Carnegie said it at one point as well. So, I mean, essentially you're saying a lot of the same things, right? Of serving people first, helping people out, being a servant, and then figuring out from there what it is they need, what it is that they're challenged, what's their pain, and defining those things. How can you be a solution provider? So I don't think you have to have necessarily a favorite quote, but you have obviously you're executing on what some of those quotes have meant to you and how they affected you. Do you read books? You read a lot of books, and do you have one that's really changed your life?
My favorite is still one I read years ago that is a very popular book, and How to Win Friends and Influence People was pretty powerful.
Awesome. It was an incredible book. It's in my top 5. It changed my life.
It changed mine too. I mean, when was that book written? In the 20s or 30s?
Yeah, it was way back there. I don't know the year, but it was several. Yeah. It was way back there. Yeah,
almost 100 years ago.
Yeah,
and it was still
a long time.
one of the most, one of the best books out.
Profound, easy. Yeah, it radically changed my my view. Yeah, I love that book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's my favorite.
Do you have a mobile app that you use on a daily basis? No. I don't. No, I don't.
I really don't. Gmail. Text messaging.
Gotcha.
I don't.
I gotcha.
I don't. I am not as versed on the tech side of things,
Sure.
and but just like a lot of things that I'm not great at, I have other people in the office handle that kind of stuff for me. So
that's good.
But I really don't have a favorite mobile app. Sorry, guys, I couldn't give you a little nugget there.
That's all right. Do you get 8 hours of sleep a night?
Yes.
That's good. That's good. What's your morning routine, Jeff? Do you have one?
Today was my perfect routine. Today I hit everything perfect. I got up. I get about 20 minutes of quiet time, kind of run through my day in my head, drink a couple cups of coffee in bed with the lights off. So I'm drinking coffee in the dark.
Wow.
Because
interesting.
Yeah,
have you experimented what that does for you? You're in the dark and you're just having coffee. How do you have coffee? Does your wife bring what? Wait. How do you get coffee?
And I bring it back into the bed. Man.
Oh, okay. So you just go.
I gotta go slow. I gotta wake up slow. I drink my coffee. I run through my day in my head.
So you get the coffee, and you get out of bed to go get make the coffee.
Yes.
And then, someone make and then you bring the coffee. You bring the coffee back to bed. You get under the covers, and then
I sit up a little, but I pull the covers all the way up, and I just sit there in complete quiet.
Do you cover yourself from here or down up to here?
Oh, I'm like up to here.
Up to here, okay.
And I'm just like sitting here like this. I just drink my coffee, man, and I just let myself slowly wake up, begin my day.
I got it.
And then as soon as I feel like I'm ready, I'll go start the other cup of coffee. I'll throw in my gym clothes. It's about 6:30, 6:45. Throw in my gym clothes. Grab my clothes for the day. Grab my stuff.
Yep.
Finish that other cup of coffee. Walking out the door. Take it with me. About done. By the time I get to the gym, I go in and I try my hardest to crush it and take a shower. Listen to either motivational stuff on my headphones or voice recordings. Honestly, phone calls some days. Just make sure everyone's on their game on the phone calls, or Tony Robbins, or a podcast. And when I leave that gym, man, I'm awake, I'm refreshed, I've worked out, the blood's flowing, I've taken a shower, and I am ready to hit the streets.
Ready to go. That's awesome, man. Wow, that's pretty cool. Never heard anybody gets coffee and then puts it back, gets back in bed. What are you most grateful for?
Oh gosh, I'm most grateful for healthy kids. I got 2 healthy kids. I got one that's going to be 22, and he's a really, really good boy. He's working for me, so I'm teaching him the business.
There you go.
And I'm just grateful for, being able to live a life where I can have whatever I want as long as I, do the work and think of other people and ask for it and, live a certain lifestyle. And I mean, we're in America. We can be wherever we want. We can crash and burn, and if we work hard enough, we can get back to wherever we want to be. So I'm just grateful to be alive today. I guess I'm in a good place, man, and I'm happy.
Just feeling happy. Yeah, it makes a difference, right? And it's so interesting, your mood, how your mood can change like that. Tony Robbins does talks about the state you're in, right? Like you can just change your state, right? You can be sad. Hear a bunch of news, right? And it could be setting yourself up for the worst day. And then you can change your state and go, wait a minute, I'm going to make this, how can I make this be the best day?
Yeah.
Right? And it's so strange how you have that control. There's very few things that you have control over in life, but your brain and your thoughts and how you accept those things or reject them is one of them. And, at least consciously. So I think that's huge, man. It's really important. What point do you recommend hiring a mentor? How important has that been to your life? You said your dad was heavy for you and good. Yeah.
I started an education. I was 13 years in the business, and I decided to hire a coach and join a coaching program for about a year. And it was so there's no bad time. I just got back from a personal development weekend, 30 hours in 3 days, and it was all personal development. There was no business mixed in. It was just about, identifying those subconscious, blocks and
what did you go to? What did you go to?
Well, it's a local one. It's called the First Class.
Oh, cool.
It's what's the name? Think and Grow Rich. You know that book?
Sure. Okay, Napoleon Hill. Right.
It's like 80. They say there's 81 tools in that, and it's kind of law of attraction, whatnot. This is those tools, which they're not numbered.
Right.
But it's in 30 hours taught how to live your life that way.
Wow.
And so I'm always looking to grow. If you're not growing, you're dying.
There's a great program that my buddy Sean McCloskey that's actually in your hood. He has a program called Life and Air, and that's really powerful as well. That was huge. And another one called Life Book by John Butcher I've been through. That was also hugely. It's called mylifebook.com, and I actually they gave me some kind of deal. I'll have to look it up, but they gave me some kind of deal where if I refer people over, you get like a discount. I don't remember the link right now, but you can at least go check out the video that they had there. It's pretty cool. But Life and Air and My Life Book are really great programs. I'm also a big fan of that, of just building up your awareness and your personal development.
Yes.
So that's pretty cool. And that's cool how mentors and coaches have helped and given you, so much there. That's great too. If you had to summarize why you do what you do, Jeff, what would that be? What gets you up in the morning?
I enjoy working with people. I enjoy the business side. I love making deals. I love, and I like working with people, and I like being every day being a new experience versus sitting behind a cubicle or working for somebody else is tough for me.
Absolutely.
I need to be out there. I need, I need to be a little bit in control of my own destiny, and I like real estate 'cause there's no ceiling. You can literally continue to set goals and hit that one, set a new one, and set a new one. The sky's the limit. And, I do it for financial freedom. I do it for personal freedom, control over my life, my time. And I enjoy working with people, and I enjoy that every day is a different day. Every house you walk into is a different experience. You get to, you're learning, growing, getting to share your experience with others and make money at it and make deals. And it's all the stuff I love, man. And
I love it. That's great.
Yeah.
So how can we get in touch with you? How can we serve you, right? You're such a big proponent on how much serving others has helped. How can we serve you?
Well, I don't have any products or anything like that. Basically, my real estate business is number one to me. But I do have a couple Facebook pages just where I put my properties.
Okay. So
we don't chat about real estate. We don't do anything. It's two groups. One is called St. Louis Wholesale Properties. Real boring and dry because that's really what it is. St. Louis Wholesale Properties that anyone listening could go and join.
Okay.
And it's just when we get a new property, we post it on there.
And it's on Facebook? That's on Facebook? So
Facebook,
what's the actual Facebook link? Do you know?
It's a closed group. So
okay.
I don't want whenever I experience that people just join and then they start chatting, everything you put on there, they got a comment on. I don't have any comments on this, nothing. If you like the property, send us a message. We'll call you.
Gotcha. All right. So just go into the search on Facebook, onto the search, and then type in St. Louis Wholesale Properties.
Yep. That's it. I'm gonna pull it up while we're talking here. And then maybe I can give you the exact link.
I think that's
And then I have another one called Illinois Wholesale Properties.
Okay.
Because we just branched into Illinois as well, which is right across the river here.
Very cool.
Yeah, St. Louis Wholesale Properties. Let's see if there's an actual link. We just started it, a few weeks ago, and we're already up to 438 members.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I've got. There's another guy out there that I worked with out there does a lot of deals. I'll have to tell you about him later. But I think that some of the things we went over have been very inspiring. I think you've given a lot of people some great perspectives. And I think the biggest thing is just that breakthrough of what would happen if you let that thing hold you back, that mental barrier. So I just want to acknowledge you, man. Thank you so much for getting on here and talking about these things. Thank you for taking the time.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Of course. It was awesome. Thanks for the opportunity. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, it does. It means a lot. And we'll put everything in the show notes so you can get in touch with Jeff. And if you have some deals out there in St. Louis, or if you get some deals, and send over to him, and you guys can maybe work something out. So thanks again, Jeff. I really appreciate you.
Yeah, Cory. Appreciate you too, buddy.
All right. Make sure you're on the next Profit Masters podcast, where we're going to bring another incredible interview your way. So remember, be a servant. Thanks again, Jeff.
Thanks, brother.
All right. Bye.